Hello, hello. How is everyone doing now? Am I on? Am I on? Uh, Welcome to the stream. This is the Everest. What? This is a Q and A or channel Q and A, I should say, or mainly a revitalized Q and A. But uh, I'm glad to be here. I've not had a stream like this before. This is a solo stream, but again, this pop-ins are. Uh, Let me see. Where's the invite? Um, if you would like to join the stream, you can simply join the link here. Now you must be. You can hear me. Oh, how you doing, Crimson Slope? How you doing there? It's good to be back. I've posted a lot of community posts the last few weeks, and hello, Leo Rose. How you doing? So glad to be so glad to see you all. I've posted a lot of community posts lately. I've been on other streams, but I've not done my own solo stream in a while. And I've told everyone I've had a lot of computer problems, and I unfortunately lost a lot of work. Um, the That I had been working on over the summer. It was a devastating loss. Uh, how you Oh, thank you for such the kind words. Yeah. Uh, thank you, Leia Rose. You guys are too kind. But as I was saying, now that I'm back to where I am after losing all the work, I'm restarting everything, and losing all that work. It made me realize that I need to step forward and start working harder on some things, and uh, so I'm just glad that I was able to at least I've restarted a few things, and I'm glad to be back on the path that I should be on. Oh, I just heard myself on stream. But I wanted to talk about. So this is my first. Uh, let's see. Um, this is my first Q&A stream. I did one a long time ago. I did a Q&A stream a long time ago about my future content. Um, I can tell you right now, I'm working on a lot of the audio dramas. Oh. Leia Rose says, moving forward is always the best thing to do. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's the best thing to do. And um, I've made some announcements, premature announcements that I was going to um, the big project. I do audio dramas, but the big project, of course, is the Revitalized series that I work on. The I have been working on it a year, and I know releases are slow, but I'm a perfectionist when it comes to things, and I had I had lost. I had been working on the Rise of Skywalker for nearly a year. Um, I was glad to have redone the director's cut of The Last Jedi, although I had to rush through the ending. That's why some of the voice lines were screwed near the ending with Leia. But still, I got it out. Um, I was really proud of the director's cut because I made that in a small amount of time. I redid all of the movie in a small amount of time in 5 months. The Rise of Skywalker, I started working on. I started working on the script last year after I did the original version. Leia Rose says great. Um, I uh, I started working on the Rise of Skywalker after I did the Last Jedi Revitalized. Oh. Crimson Slope says the two projects I'm hyped for on this channel is your version of Rise of Skywalker and the continuation of Darth Disciple. Oh, thank you. Uh, Thank you. Darth Disciple is coming to an end in the next few months. We're working hard on it. Uh, we have some other audio dramas planned, but I can't go into specifics. I did say there's a secret Star Wars project on the horizon. I would check in a few weeks on that. But as I was saying, The Rise of Skywalker was kind of finicky because the plot, whereas people like to start from scratch, there's a lot of details in the sequel trilogy that I like to retain. I like to change the context. With the Last Jedi, a lot of people didn't. Leia Rose is fabulous. Yeah. With the rises with the Last Jedi, I liked a lot of the Luke stuff, and I know a lot of people didn't like a lot of the Luke stuff. My problem with that was primarily the exit of Luke's death, and that's why I kept a lot of that. The rest of the movie, though, I redid entirely because I hate the whole casino planet thing, and uh, Ray should have been a Skywalker. Yeah, or they could have went the route of she was a nobody. I don't know why. Um, I didn't know why they made her a Palpatine, but oh, I'm a Skywalker now. Really bad storytelling. But um, what happens with the Rise of Skywalker was the story was. I just hated the story. I walked out of the movie actually, and redoing it, I liked the very idea of Palpatine coming back is a complicated one because when it was first announced, everyone was like, "Yay!" And then when you saw the movie, you're like, "No!" And because of how poorly done it was, Cross Element says, "Or they could have done something similar to Jason and Jaina, Rey being Rey's Solo, Ben's sister." Yes, I agree with that. That would have been swell. Um, that would have been. They should have followed the Legends books, but they didn't, as we know. Vader could have had an affair during his dark times. Leia Rose, I don't think I don't know if you're. Okay. I'll take that into consideration. Uh, I mean, we see if you've seen Primal, women can act that way. All right. Crimson Slope says, I actually liked Emperor Palpatine's return in Rise of Skywalker, since I loved the Legends Dark Empire series. But the outcome was terrible. His return not explained and how Rey defeated him. Yes, I do agree. I'm not particularly a fan of the Dark Empire series, but it made a little more sense in the EU spectrum than the sequel trilogy, where it felt like it was a tail end to. Oh, my dear friend JT Lovecraft says Palpatine coming back defeats Anakin's 1 through 6 movie role in Redemption. That's why comics like Dark Empire are one-offs. I do agree with that. The Skywalker saga is more about Anakin than it was Rey. And my goal in the sequel trilogy is to make it more as a continuation of, whereas the first bit was the Anakin story, and it ends with Return of the Jedi ends with Anakin's story. This was kind of the conclusion for Luke's story because, for me, I felt like Rey was the right person for Luke to find his peace and purpose. It was done horribly in the actual Last Jedi, but if you've seen the revitalized version, he survives the end of. I made it clear that he survives and trains Rey. I consider. Let's see. Oh, hold on. No, we got some comments here. Crimson Slope says Palpatine using a blue lightsaber in Dark Empire is hilarious. Yeah, that's early EU for you. The EU became more clear, I think, at the end of the 90s and then when the prequels started coming out. But, Lucas, a lot of the authors, I think, were kind of screwed by Lucas's approach to the prequels. and that's not a bash to Lucas, because um, Lucas had not nailed. I feel like the background of the prequels until the Clone Wars 3D show. The 2D show, there's a lot of good Legends books, but again, it's EU. It's EU. How do you describe it? It's not. It can't go into more detail than it has to be when it comes to the Legends. But even then, I prefer a lot of the Legends books. Like I prefer the Labyrinth of Evil story. Leia Rose says they're a Vader comic where he runs into one of Padme handmaidens. There is Vader mistress. Oh, um, are they running with that? That's why I don't read the canon comics if they're doing that. I really hope. JT Lovecraft Papa Palf's covered in cloning goop is hilarious. Yes. Yep. Yeah, yes, that's the current Vader series. I was gonna adapt that, but I'm gonna just stick not to can. I'm not gonna do comic dubs with current canon. If you guys are interested in comic dubs of the any kinds, I would recommend Star Wars audio comics. Uh, uh, Definitely. Okay. Crimson Slope says not all of the EU is perfect. I love the Thrawn trilogy. Classic, and Dark Empire. But after the Legends timeline got real, after that, the Legends timeline got really bizarre. Um, kind of. Again, my friend Barb's Basement has, he has one of the authors. Uh, I'll say this about the Legends. The Legends took the scale and heights of Star Wars where no man has gone before, and I'm not referencing Star Trek, where the story bore barely any resemblance to Star Wars, but you could still accept it. I kind of feel that about the Andor show. The Andor show does not look at all like Star Wars, but it does have the feeling that you can accept it. And I kind of feel like that comes to the EU where you can accept it as Star Wars. And that's what I think makes Andor so unique compared to, say, Kenobi. I know a lot of people liked Kenobi. I was not personally a fan. I think the story of that was fine. I think it just needed better execution. Leia Rose says, Rey Mother Padme Handmaiden. Modern Metalhead covers and edits. Hello there. Man, I wish Rise of Skywalker Revitalized came out this fall, but unfortunately it comes out next year, but at least I will get a Force Awakens Revitalized in the meantime. Yes, I will talk more about that soon. We will get to that about the Force Awakens. Cross Element says, being the hardcore EU fan that I am, I'm more or less looking forward to what John and Dave do because they earned that trust. John and Dave, since I was I think that ship has sailed for me since Mandalorian season 2. I loathed the book of Boba Fett. I thought it was an embarrassment, and I don't pin this on Robert Rodriguez, although he is one of the problems with that show. The story is bonkers in the book of Boba Fett, and the way it's executed is even worse than Kenobi. That show I can just laugh at because of how rushed and poorly thought out it was, and it kind of ruins the character of Boba Fett. Like Boba Fett was the character you wanted to. Boba Fett was the character you wanted, and as an action figure growing up, he was the guy, and they turned him into this weird hippie, Tusken Raider. I mean, at the very end of that show, where you see him smiling in the street with Black Crescent, and I was face palming. And it's funny because Alita Battle Angel, directed by Robert Rodriguez, is one of my favorite sci-fi films of the last many years. So to see Robert Rodriguez go so low, but I'm not going to blame him. I'm also going to blame Jon Favreau because he wrote that show. And when he brought the fact that he brought back Grogu so early into the story was embarrassing. Again, whole show is embarrassing. I can say embarrassing repeatedly. The Book of Boba Fett sucks as far as I kind of go. All right, let's read some more comments. Crimson Slope. Starkiller's armor in the last episode really caught me off guard. Yeah, I look forward to seeing more. Again, it's there's a lot to digest. I really am proud of that Andor show. I feel breath of fresh air. All right, Leia Rose, is that great crit? All right, Marn Metalhead. You should also do Obi-Wan Kenobi Revitalized. You could add Maul Inquisitors versus Obi-Wan, etc. That would be dope. I thought about it. I'm kind of jaded with. I might not do that. I want to finish my series first, and I want to finish the sequels before I. All right. Crimson Slope says, "I'm kind of glad Maul wasn't in Kenobi. I love Darth Maul as a character." But Maul in the canon timeline doesn't know Kenobi's alive until the events of Rebels. I mean, they could have done a little thing where Maul finds out about Kenobi and tries to bait him out, and Kenobi has to go on his trip to rescue little Leia, and then they could have had Vader get involved, and then Kenobi has to juggle Maul and Vader, and Maul gets defeated in a way where that's where he can lose like his whole organization, and that kind of where he is in Rebels. So we can agree to disagree on the Kenobi show, but John Williams really. All right, cross element. The Kenobi theme is fine. Pretty much now one of my favorite stars. You're not gonna like what I'm gonna say. You might agree with me, but the Kenobi, a big problem with the Kenobi show. It's not John Williams because he only did the theme for Kenobi. The music in that show sucks. It is soulless garbage. It is exactly the generic music you would hear in any TV show. Hell, The Rings of Power, the music in that show is way better than Kenobi. It's sad to how low they and then the director's defense for that is that Vader barely gets his theme song until the very end of the show, and then the director tries to say, oh, Vader has to reclaim his theme song. Bullshit. He earned his theme song in Attack of the Clones when he killed all those Tuskens. He doesn't need to earn it again. He is Darth Vader. It is soulless music, and it's mainly part of the Natalie Holt, just worst composer of Star Wars ever. They should have got John Williams to score the whole show. I'm sure he probably wouldn't have done it because he's old and his time is limited, and he's focused on Indiana Jones 5. But they did get his sidekick William Ross, who scored Chamber of Secrets, to do Kenobi. William Ross did the themes for Darth Vader and Obi-Wan's fight in the Kenobi show. And I'm like, why didn't they get William Ross to do the whole show instead of Natalie Holt? Natalie Holt sucks, even though her themes in the Loki are pretty good. So I do like the Kenobi theme, though. So Crimson Slope, what are your thoughts on Tales of the Jedi? I'm interested. There's a lot of there's both EU and Legends. There's a lot of origins for Count Dooku, and the Jedi Council members like Qui-Gon, and I would highly recommend the Darth Plagueis book if you guys have not. In fact, read read a lot of those prequel Legends books, pre Phantom Menace or pre Attack of the Clones. Very good. Tales of the Jedi is very interesting. It'll be interesting. It's gonna be Lucasfilm current canon interpretation of Count Dooku, and um, I'm personally don't. I don't think we need another more Ahsoka stuff. I think her stuff was done in Clone Wars, but you know, power to Dave Filoni. I think he deserved it. I think he deserves it because he is a good storyteller. Then again, you know, he can have weak spots. So I am looking forward to that show. JT Lovecraft. They could have flashed forward in Kenobi as a post-credit scene, live action Twin Sons recreation. I do agree that, and as we know, um, Ray Park has been, very he's been very pumped up to come back as Maul, and they were going to go that route, but they changed their minds and they want Vader because Vader sells, and that's fine. That's fine. Uh, I don't know what they're going to do with Vader. James Earl Jones is not playing it anymore. They're going to still the voice, so Vader's going to be in more material, I think. Uh, I'm just curious to see what they do with that timeline. Crimson Slope. I've read the Darth Plagueis book. Good, very good book. Uh, Plagueis. I had to research the Darth Plague. I researched the book and I reread some of it before I started my writing for The Rise of Skywalker Revitalized, to get insight into in some characters that appear in that movie. I can't say who though, um, but you know. Now, let's see here. I want to go back to a Ray mother. Okay, I skimmed over this. I'm sorry, Leia Rose. Ray's mother is a Padme handmaiden. Nah, I don't buy it. I was more inclined of the idea that she was related to Mara Jade in a way. If not Mara Jade, but anyone. Uh, so JT Lovecraft, David Collins, and the VA for Jedi Fallen Order do a pretty good Vader, in my opinion. Not everyone likes their takes, but I think it's acceptable when there is no James Earl Jones. Yes, we have voice actors that voice Vader in Dark Lord audio drama and the Last Jedi Revitalized. You probably know who he is. They do a good take on James Earl Jones' impression, and I know there's people out there, voice actors that can voice act, and if Disney is and these companies are going to go this way where they're going to buy the rights, like I got to talk about like Bruce Willis, even though he has a disease, he wants to still work, so he sold his deep fake likeness, and now he can still act in movies even though he's not acting. uh, I, I guess that works out. It's just weird. So you'll get any bald person and then stick Bruce Willis's face on it. The same with voice acting. So now if a voice actor, if someone gets old or can't do their voice anymore, or they're the role they played they were younger, now they're older, you're just gonna, instead of getting a new voice actress that could play the role for another 40, 50, 30 years, you're just going to get someone that You're just going to get someone that has a software, and they're going to just recreate it, recreate the voice, and it's going to sound, robotic, low quality. The Book of Boba Fett, even though I like that show, you could tell the Mark Hamill AI voice was not. It sounded out of place. It sounded low quality. It sounded like a mono track. It was not. But the Vader voice in Kenobi was spot on, and you could tell that it was an AI. But the way Vader talks and his inflections worked so well with the dialogue they programmed. Um, it sounded like Vader was actually it was James Earl Jones had gone back to the 80s and brought back his recordings. It was that good. It was high quality. And I'm like, why is that high quality? But the Mark Hamill stuff is low quality in the Book of Boo Boo. Uh, the new future. All right. Crimson Slope says Darth Plagueis is one of my favorite non-live action characters. Yes, and I don't know who would make. People say the audiobook voice could play him. I think he's a character that can be played by anyone. We would have to see, though. He would have to be CGI, or Lucasfilm might just reinterpret what he looks like. I personally would be against that. Cross Element, the Fallen Order VA did some of the games prior to the Fallen Order as Vader. He would be perfect to replace James Earl Jones. AI is just soulless. I agree. The guy that voiced Vader, is that Scott Lawrence? I don't think he's good as Vader. Pardon, but there's other people that can play the voice better. I personally was in the camp that Matt Sloan was going to take over as Vader full time after the passing of James Earl Jones, before they did this AI shenanigans. I was personally, Chad Vader. He voices Vader in the games, like the Lego games. But now I guess he just voices Vader if Scott Lawrence is available. I don't know. All right, next one. Crimson Slope says, I'm really looking forward to Jedi Survivor. Yeah, I am too. JT Lovecraft says Fallen Order was a solid game, but that hologram cut at the end negated the whole plot. I'm worried because they want you to buy the sequel. Buy the sequel. Of course we're gonna buy the sequel. Yeah. All right. So, Fallen Order. I played some bits and pieces. I'm not a fan of that kind of gameplay. I'm more of a Mass Effect story-driven guy. I really wish a Mass Effect game that was like since Star Wars universe would come out. Where, you can consider that BioWare's Old Republic, but that's a MMO. But that's the closest thing to what we would get from that. Or KOTOR. The KOTOR remake. I'm hoping the KOTOR remakes like Mass Effect, but with Star Wars. Jedi Fallen Order 7, The Return of Chindu. Yeah. Oh, and we are graded by the Star Wars guys. Otherwise, Master Paul. How you doing, Paul? We were just talking about AI voices, and why we should be wary of them, especially after, again, I'll say it, Bruce Willis sold his likeness to a deepfake company, and now this deepfake company can just make movies with Bruce Willis, even though he's not even in it. He's just there, and it's his face or fake voice. Oh man, Can you imagine just the straight the DVD garbage with the deep fake Bruce Willis? Uh, all right. Um, so I want your guys' thoughts. Hold on. Oh, someone should deep fake your Orca go onto Godzilla. They should. They should. I would really appreciate that. Um, okay, what would you guys? All right, here's a big question for you guys out there. What would you like to see in Star Wars? Um, we've talked about a lot about AI and stuff, and but I want your guys' inquiries. Tell me what show you want. It could be like Revitalized, where it's a post. It's a a real account of Luke's adventures, or is it Old Republic? Let me know in the comments. Uh, I will be right back. All right. Uh, hmm. Oh, wow. I was only got. Oh, uh, how is everyone? So, again, what would you guys like to see in Star Wars? Um, I guess I could give you my thoughts on what I would like to see in Star Wars. Um, now, Star Wars needs to grow, and I think it's already doing that by Andor. Andor, even though I kind of found it, slow, but fathomable, I was really enjoying how uh, Andor was its own story. It was its own world, even though it was the world of Star Wars. And what I mean is that everything is original, thought out. Um, but there are minor references to the Republic, to the Separatists. There is the Empire is mentioned. Like these corpos in the first three episodes are a subsidiary of the Empire. I think, right? Um, but it felt a lot like Blade Runner, but there was still the Star Wars aesthetic to it. Um, Now, I will say the thing about Andor I think could have been improved. I think the first three episodes should have been one long movie. Um, it was clearly all connected, and the story has started really after episode three. Um, but that's what I think. It's a step in the right direction. But then again, we could regress to Book of Boo Boo, Boobaloo, do ba a do bop bop da da dop dop dop. Uh, all right, so let's read some comments. Leia Rose says, "A new Rey's backstory making her a Skywalker." Yes, I would like to see that. In fact, make the whole sequel try to redo that whole. Crimson Slope says, "I would like to see the Ahsoka series more Luke after Return of the Jedi, Old Republic, or occult." Uh, I'm sorry, I don't. I have problems pronouncing things. Acolyte. It came back to my mind. Acolyte. Um, Part of that. Ahsoka. I'm a little hesitant on Ahsoka. For all we know, it could be a Rebels sequel with set in live action. But then again, it could explore a lot of the Jedi. Um, it could explore a lot of the Jedi, and Thrawn could. Thrawn will come back. That's the stuff I'm really interested in with Ahsoka. But I did hear though that I'm hoping Timothy Zahn is involved with the Ahsoka series. I did talk with Mr. Zahn in Nashville, and I would love to talk with him again. I've talked to him a couple times. I would next time I'll try to get a shout out for the channel, but uh, uh, I want to see Timothy Zahn at least have some creative control over Thrawn, and because he knows Thrawn's character more than anyone, and him having input on Thrawn would elevate Ahsoka to great heights. Uh, but then again, it's Dave Filoni's show. We'll see. Now more of Luke after Return of the Jedi. This is personally, this is the canon stuff. Maybe this, but I think Luke's story is fine, self-contained. They're not going to do a Heir to the Empire movie unless they adapt it as a cartoon. And already that when it comes to Luke, they're making references to the sequel trilogy, which we let's be honest, we care nothing about. For some people, if you're a fan of sequels, I don't. Me personally, if it's not my stuff, then I'm not going to really give it a second glance. But the Old Republic, yes, I do agree. More Old Republic stuff. And Acolyte, that's New Republic, or no, High Republic, not New Republic. I'm not a big fan of the High Republic, but I want to see a Star Wars game that is literally Skyrim or No Man's Sky with the Star Wars paint job. Yes, I do agree on that. You could Starrim, if it's called that. That's a great idea. Lucasfilm, LucasArts, get on it. Lucasfilm Games, even though you should be called LucasArts. Let's see. Star Wars guys also said specifically No Man's Sky after they patched the heck out of it. Of course, the No Man's Sky, that's a redemption story for sure. Crimson Slope. I really want to hear everyone's thoughts on Star Wars Visions and the announced season 2. Star Wars Visions. Star Wars Visions is okay. It's a different medium. I wasn't a big fan of a lot of the shorts. Then again, I think some Star Wars fans don't understand. Even if you're, you need to know that this is Lucasfilm giving some anime creators a chance to give their take on Star Wars. And a lot of people last year were very dismissive of that. I didn't like a lot of those cartoons either. But again, you need to acknowledge that this is not garbage. This is not Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy. This is actual creators giving a chance to make something. And so I'm looking forward to the Visions. I just think people need to look at it with a lens rather than a scope. Crimson Slope says Darth Malgus is my favorite character in the Old Republic. He's in almost every trailer and he's highly underrated. He's a okay Seth. He's good. He's a good character. I don't play much Old Republic anymore, so I kind of forgot a lot of what Malgus has done. Again, just me. I don't play a lot of those MMO games unless it's like Lord of the Rings Online, where it's relaxing. And all right, Leia Rose. Well, I only like 2 episodes only. Yeah. Again, look at it as a lens, not a scope. It's even if you don't like some stuff, I I can still appreciate what those Japanese artists make. Scope. All right. Uh, so a lot of the fans out there, you guys wanna? I guess it's Q&A time. Woohoo! Now this is where you can ask me questions about Revitalized. Um, what's my opinion on this and that? We've already been doing it, but we're going to take it a step further. And Leia Rose says, "We'll try." All right. Oh, wait, we're still. Star Wars Guys also says, "I'd like to see perhaps a future in Star Wars, perhaps 500 years after the Skywalker saga." Ah, and if they go back to making movies, I think this is about, yes, make a new era, but that might be kind of hard to do. And I'll get back on that. Okay. Crimson Slope says, "What made you want to do the Dark Disciple audio drama?" Oh boy. Um, well, it was back in 2020 where a friend of mine, Audio Auditect, he did a test. He did a test MP3 of. He did now. There's a thing called the Star Wars voice acting community, and it's a group of people, friends like Audio, Captain George, Ryan Golden, Sharon Grunwald, and myself that are part of this. And the a lot of channels you'll see kind of the same voice actors because we do those because of my friends and that their friends are involved with those. Um, but there's also a website called Casting Call Club. But he sent me a sample of the first chapter, and I said, "Oh wow, this is good. What if we made it? What if we did our own audio drama like the Star Wars radio drama?" And he liked, and I got the all the cast like Orion Sachs and Gary Scales and stuff like that to do the voices again for that whole chapter, as well as the wonderful Nicholas Cortez who does Count Dooku. And that's where we started to work on the Darth Disciple audio drama. Originally, we are going to do the Clone Wars Legacy project, like the canceled episodes and stuff like that, but we just focus on Darth Disciple. And those take a while. The book has a lot of dialogue. Um, it takes a while because the scripts need to be made, and voice actors, I give them months to like do their lines. I'm in no rush. Uh, Again, some people have done reviews of the Dark Disciple, even though it's not finished, and I'm glad they did that. I'm glad a lot of people like it. Again, I think I'm more of a I'm better editing audio than I am with animation, which is why I stopped limiting my animation movies like Godzilla, unfortunately. But Darth Disciple, really relaxing to work on. Star Wars guy says, "I have a question. What does God need with a starship?" Well, what does he need with a starship? You don't just go up to the. I already forgot the quote. It's Star Trek 5, but does God need a starship? No, he needs a taxi. Leia Rose says, "Yes, sounds good, Master." Okay. Why does God need a starship? I gotta do William Shatner. Why does God need with a starship? There's my worst William Shatner impression. Well, there's one question I have for you. Since one of the big reasons why the Rise of Skywalker just sank the ship entirely was killing off Ben Solo, the last actual Skywalker, are you going to have him live? Well, I don't want to spoil anything about the Rise of Skywalker. I know it's a year away, and again, I just started reworking on. I just restarted work on it. That one, without spoiling it, I'll just say, um, if you didn't like the ending of the original Rise of Skywalker, you will be satisfied with what happens at the end of the Revitalized. I cannot confirm or deny anyone dies or lives, but I have put polls out that say who you think's gonna kick the bucket. Um, but just keep that in mind. All right, Crimson Slip says, if you were to do the canceled arcs, then would you do Sons of Dathomir? So Sons of Dathomir, I was working. We did start on this. I did do a test. Me and Nicholas Cortez, who voiced Dooku, as well as Ryan Golden, who did Palpatine, and then Sonam Burke, who did Maul. We did a test. We did a test. We did a test for Sons of Dathomir. Um, that fell through because again, time is limited, but a lot of people. I didn't get any lines for it, but it may come back in the future. Again, it was more of an idea than an actual project. However, again, if you, I recommended Audio Comics. Go to Audio Comics. They had the Sons of Dathomir dubbed by Nicholas and all them. It's not the same as my voice actors, and they have different direction when it comes to stuff. But it's the best you're gonna get. Phil McCracken is coming. Uh-oh. I better hide. Philly McCracken is coming. Oh boy. All right. Q&A time. It's still Q&A time, so I will. I'm. If you're still joining in the stream, I'm answering questions right now about Revitalized and any of the projects right now. Um, I'm not forcing you guys to ask me. If you feel like you need to ask me something, and if no one wants to ask me anything, I'll move on to the next subject. But Crimson Slope says, I saw the trailer, which made me excited, but Rise of Skywalker is delayed. But I totally have the patience to wait for it when it comes out next year. Yes, the Rise of Skywalker is delayed. I think I should have made that announcement. Wait, I did make that announcement. It's delayed for next year. That's unfortunate events. I'm very tired when it comes to the Rise of Skywalker was an unfortunate loss because I had worked about maybe 50 minutes of it. I would say 30. Again, the movie is. I can tell you right now, the movie is 3 hours long. It is a long ass movie. I think it might even be longer than the Last Jedi Revitalized, or that was the current scope of what it was going to be. But I lost all the file. I lost not all the files, but all the editing files when my hard drive died. And I feel, I just felt very, what can I say? I just felt very upset when I lost all that work. And I'm sure a lot of people were upset too. A lot of voice actors were upset, but they understood. It's something you can't avoid. It's also bad on my part because I should have made backups to the Rise of Sky. I should have made backups. I should have made backups, but I didn't. And that's why I'm now making 3 backups and 3 different hard drives when it comes to editing. So, weren't you also doing one for The Force Awakens? I had not even thought about The Force Awakens until a couple weeks ago, and we'll get into it. In fact, I think I'll get into it right now. The Force Awakens, I've decided to start working on these last few weeks. I did I did a few. I started writing the script, and initially I was going to use voices from Lego Star Wars because I didn't believe the story needed to be changed that much. But I began to write the script. I decided to do a script, and I will say that um, if you guys thought uh, The Force Awakens was a New Hope clone, it's going to change because I am doing the Force Awakens revitalized. I have asked some of the voice actors to return. It remains to be seen. I think they're waiting, still waiting on me to do the Rise of Skywalker. I will see if I can get them on board, but it's gonna be interesting. Uh, sorry, I'm a little tired. It's just been a busy day, but it will be surprising. The Force Awakens for me is just fine. It's the best movie in the sequel trilogy out of the three. Yes, I do agree. There's not much change can really do to the Force Awakens because I think it's a solid movie. When it comes to editing, I am using the novel as context more than the movie. Some lines, Alan Dean Foster is an okay writer in my book, but there are some lines in that book that are ridiculous. There's this scene where Kylo is interrogating Poe, and he goes into the Shakespearean thesaurus, like, "Thy knoweth thy map to thou Luke Skywalker betrothed," or something like that. It is ridiculous. I don't even think Kylo's that fluent. Now, you can argue that he's trying to be that way. You know, he's trying to act like he's intelligent, like he's super intelligent, or he's trying to imitate Snoke, how Snoke speaks. But I think that lines like that were ridiculous in the book, which is why when I'm doing the script as I speak, you know, it's just it is it, it. I'm trying to think the words for it. It is kind of ridiculous that they're just putting those large sentences and responses just to drag the book out. I don't even think the lines like that were in the script. But The Force Awakens is the best sequel in the trilogy. I do agree, and it's the one I rewatched the most. I can wait over a year, but do you know exactly what month Rise of Skywalker would come out? Unfortunately, Crimson Slope, I cannot tell you. You're gonna have to just. I can't give you a date. Initially, it was gonna be spring, but I'm. I've started. I have lied, and I did say I was gonna pause it, but I have started working on it again. It's just gonna take some time. I'm dealing with issues right now. I'm dealing with some other projects I gotta catch up with, and again, it's a balancing act when it comes to the Rise of Skywalker. Um, that's fine. Uh, thank you for understanding. I just wish I feel bad for you guys because I know you want to see that movie so bad. I put a lot of heart into the script, and a lot of the voice actors put a lot of heart in their lines, and it is not. It is. It is just it's this. You gotta restart it now, and all right. So we are going to. So I'm going to show some secret, super secret stuff that I'm going to show some super secret stuff that you know I wouldn't show you guys, but since you guys are here and very loyal to, we are going to. I'm going to show what is coming up next on the. Hopefully, I can find the right timestamp because there is some copyright music in this. But I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a. Oh boy. Oh, and my crash. Oh, and my player just crashed. Oh, 1 second. Oh, oh. Oh, do. Q&A time. I'll tell you what. What was your guys' favorite moment of The Last Jedi Revitalized? Um, while I get this up. Let's see. Is this it? Let's see. Oh, Darth's. Oh, we are joined by Darth Spidey. I loved Kylo Ren's rage while fighting Luke and Rey. Yes, that was a change that was not in the original. Now, I so if we could go frame by frame with The Last Jedi, I got some interesting tidbits that you guys might be interested in. The whole scene with Kylo and Luke, the fight scene, is actually recreated. A lot of those shots are recreated from the actual Last Jedi movie. It's just framed in the throne room rather than crate. You know, the scene where it's an undershot where Luke has his lightsaber, or it's the shot where they're facing each other. I tried to recreate the scene where Luke is fighting Kylo. Instead of on crate, it's in the throne room. The biggest thing, though, Luke is defending. He's not dodging like the Matrix. He's not Neo. In the Revitalized, it's clear that he's simply deflecting Kylo's strikes. He's more of he's a pacifist and he doesn't want to hurt Kylo, but he knows the only way really is to counter every attack he throws at him. He is pulling the moves on him, but he wants it's sword play. And even though it is in movie duels, I tried to do that the best I could with movie duel mode and stuff like that. Okay, Crimson Slope says, seeing Luke return and become the very Luke Skywalker we needed to see in the sequel trilogy, but never got. Yes, I cannot. That was. I'm glad you say that. I thought people weren't going to like that Luke. Most of the Luke scenes in the first hour were the same. And to be honest, I kind of made Luke more of a jerk in that movie. But again, it was for a good cause. It was to show that he was committed to, and also to show that he can rise from the depths when he's so low. Leia Rose says yes, that was fantastic. You're gonna love hearing this, but your sequel trilogy is my headcanon. Thank you. I'm glad a lot of people like it. Right. We have a special scene that I'm trying to get out. But I'm glad those are very kind words. I'm glad you guys really liked the the uh, the Last Jedi Revitalized. Um, I really wish more people would see it, um, but some people are biased because it is made in movie theaters. Um, but then a lot of people are surprised because it is made in movie duels. Movie duels. Um, I'm not the master of machinima. Uh, what's his name? Some he does a lot of movie duels shorts with he. I really want to take off from how he edits that because he really knows his way around NPCs and stuff. Yes, Crit, you are a fabulous at this, making your revitalized movies. Thank you. I also enjoy making the revitalized show with Luke and the gang, which takes a long amount of time to work on. I'm getting through it though. I'm going to try to get some episodes out. Uh, one second. Oh man, this is taking me off. To do. Even though you have to redo Rise of Skywalker, the script is still the same. No, it is not. I re The Rise of Skywalker is an entirely different movie than it was. Um, I posted some pictures of what the plot might be, and you saw it the trailers. It is nothing. Is going to look nothing like the movie Palpatine, stuff like that. It's not going to look anything like that. Um, all that nonsense with Ochi and the they go to a desert planet to find a ship. Like none of that nonsense is going to be on there, or they're going to hyperspace skip. Like, in fact, I would be insulting your intelligence by including stuff like that into the script. Um, there are some lines from the movie I kept. A couple. I kept a couple lines from the script. But we do have a special scene. Aha. We do have a special scene that I'm going to show you guys. That if I could find it, I meant the same as in the trailer you made. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I should have been more clear on that. I should have been more clear. Okay, I should have been more clear on that. The script survived, the voice line survived, and the footage survived. All that survived. The I edit. I edit I edit stuff in a program called Sony Vegas, which is a video editor, and it saved all my files on my main Windows drive. The timeline. Now, I had been churning at this Last Jedi, this Rise of Skywalker file for months, and it was in the main Windows drive. What happened was there was a crash with my computer. It just died. The M2, the drive where the files were in, just died. So all that hard work and All that clip editing was gone, but all the footage, I filmed stuff and I put it in a separate, because footage is HD footage is like 100 megabytes. I put it in a separate drive, and that was where I put all my source files as well, like voice lines and stuff. So all that survives. The thing is, I don't want to go back to Vegas and edit it all together, because again, that takes a lot of my time. I can tell you, like, if you're trying to edit like 10 minutes of stuff, that's going to take a whole day, unless you're really good at what you do. Or 20 minutes of stuff, I should say. It's going to take hours and hours, and I don't want to sit on my butt all day. And that's why, usually when I come home from work, I stab at like 2 hours of stuff. I take a stab 2 hours working on stuff, and then I take a break, and then the next day I work on it. Or sometimes at 12 a.m. I'll just start working on a script. It's a it's it the script is fine. I have all my script stuff in Google Docs, which I highly recommend using. Um, Unless you guys want to use like an actual script software or something like that. But I think Google Docs is easier because I can just easily connect with voice actors and stuff like that. All right, so I should be pulling this up soon. Um, this is a short surprise if I don't get copyright. I'm rendering it. Um, Let me see. I'm saying a lot. I can make fun of myself sometimes. By the way, Cash Money. Cash Money is not here, but Cash Money um, is stinky. You don't know who Cash Money is, but I'm just. Uh, I do have a scene that I did not share yet, but there is a scene with General Hux and Mon Mothma that I will be gladly able to share with you guys. It's There's no visual, but it is audio. This is what survived of The Last Jedi, and I'm glad it survived. So here we go. Oh wait. Can I share? Can I share my? Can I share? Am I able to share my? Can you guys hear that? Nope, you cannot hear that. Duh. Okay, you cannot hear that. Man, I wish I could stream to VLC. This would have been so easy, much easier. There we go. So I want to show some work I put in. I don't think you can hear audio, and I'd rather not, but this is what I've been working on lately. This is the Last Jedi. This is the Force Awakens Revitalized. Surprise. I put some work. I put a lot of work into it already. I don't think you can hear it. Yeah, you can't hear it. But again, like look at all this work. It took me a whole day to work on all. I think in it's only at 10 minutes. By the way, I do want to show this one. Uh, again, there's a lot of editing and a lot of post post production, like with Kylo Ren. Um, of course, we remember this scene where he strikes down Lor Santeca. Of course, it lagged, but you know, where he stops. Instead, I had Poe Dameron get shot in the leg rather than Kylo Ren somehow stopping a blast in midair. Not to say Darth Vader would do it. I don't believe Kylo Ren would. Oh, thank you, Darth Spidey. That's awesome. Yes, yes. This is not what you're going to see. Some of this opening you might see in the movie, but the script is kind of different. This is just a test. So this is kind of just like if you could hear the audio, you would have an idea of how I have to layer audios and a lot of the Ray stuff here. I did, of course, I introduced Ray and Ray is pretty much the same how she was in the Force Awakens, where she's the scavenger. Again, this is the opening of the Force Awakens, just redone in movie duels uh, and Gmod to a lesser extent. But I really want to show what the whole story is going to entail. So, yes, now imagine this. Now imagine all this, but it was at the hour mark right here. Say 37 minutes. Now that's where the Rise of Skywalker was, and that's when I lost all my work. And as you can see, I have to manually put everything here. It is a it is a very tiresome task. But there's some insight into how I make Revitalized. Now you don't want to. Now I wish I could show you guys some more, but I don't want to spoil anything, and I don't want to reveal too much. But again, what you saw was not the actual like revitalized timeline. It was a test I worked on a couple months ago. Um, but I think I'm gonna wrap. I've been talking for nearly an hour, and uh, it's I'm gonna start doing this more often. I'm glad you guys could show up. Um, again, I'm glad you guys are. I'm very all. You're all supportive of the work I do and the work we do because Everest is we. not just I'm the leader, but we have all this amazing talent that's working on this stuff. This is again, this is a fan's vision come true, and I'm glad you guys could be part of it. Now, now onto the what's next. Um, what is next on Lab? What is coming on Everest next? What is the big project? Well, I can safely say that the big project will be a movie, not movie length, but close to that. And it Crimson Slope says, "I love the work you do on all these Star Wars projects." Thank you. Um, it's my best work yet, and I was so glad I could recreate it all after that computer failure. I can tell you though that it will be coming soon in the next few, if not this week or next week. I'm editing it as I am, but I'm gonna say if you like the Legends stories of the Clone Wars, I can I'll give you guys some guesses. This big project is this has been a big. I've been working on this since April, and I can't wait to share it with you all. It's gonna be awesome, possum, and that rhymed. Awesome possum. But what? But with some even with the setbacks, there's still a lot to that. Again, will will be very interesting to look at, and so I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm glad you all could join in. I'll do this again. Uh, Next time, I think I'm going to have a podcast with a group of people, but this is a solo stream that I wanted to do with you guys. This is going again. I'm Lord Crit. I am the head of Everest Productions, and this is our channel, and I'm glad you all could be supportive. And I'm repeating myself. Hang on. I'm fine. If you all want to, if you all want to support the channel, I posted a Patreon page. That's an option. But what I want your guys is, but what I want anyone's help is just hit the subscriber button. Support us. The more people that come, the more then I can bring out that Patreon. I don't think the Patreon's ready yet, but we are going to eventually in the future. We will never accept YouTube monetization. I'll let that be known. I personally don't. I'm against monetization, and um, I think it changes people. Um, oh, oh, good, man! You're MVP already, man. Yeah, um, but I will just let you know. I'm never gonna drop bags. I'm never gonna. If someone offered me money, I'm not gonna jump off a train and do this or that. Uh, never let. I've seen people that's changed people, and I never want to follow that path. But even then, we have so many copyright claims on music here that I don't even think we would get accepted. Who knows? But I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you all for coming. I will do this again in the future. So this is Lord Crit of the Everest Protections, and join the Orca Pod because that's what we love. We love orcas. We love killer whales, and we love Star Wars. So, toodaloo. Have a safe day, and Thank you all for coming. Beam me up, Scotty.